NFL Week 13, Sunday night primetime. We're talking Broncos Commanders. Both teams rested coming in off their bye weeks. If you've watched any of my game breakdown videos I do, you know I often refer to my numbers. My numbers are usually my starting point when breaking down a matchup. Well, what are my numbers? In short, it's what I make for a spread on the game. How I come up with these is by using my power ratings. I combine a bunch of different advanced metrics and boil them all down to a single value. I update them each week because teams are always changing. So as of now, week 13, I have Denver 2 points better than league average. I have Washington 4.5 points below league average. When we convert these numbers, I have Denver favored by 6.5 points if this matchup was played on a neutral field, but they're not playing on a neutral field. They're playing in Washington, so we have to award Washington a bump up for home field advantage. I give them 1.8 points, so my number on this game is Denver favored by 4.7 points. For anyone interested in starting to create your own power ratings, I have some lessons and video tutorials on how to create your own baseline power ratings for beginners. I'll try to link the playlist in the top right hand corner. They're also in the Discord. Okay, so well, if we look at the current line right now, Denver is around 6 or 6.5 point favorite, so I show value on Washington at plus 6 or 6.5 because my number is 4.7. I understand Denver has one of the best records in the league at 9-2, but when we look at the past strength of schedule, the Broncos have had it very easy. The average strength of opponent they've played is a little over 1 point below league average. And it's not like they've dominated these teams either. 7 out of Denver's 9 wins were by one score. So why does that matter? Well, because there's so many, instances or variables within a game that can flip one score outcomes. A tip ball turnover, a bad call from the ref, a missed field goal or extra point. Denver has had a lot of those things go their way. Yes, winning is the most important stat, and there's something to be said about teams that always find a way to win close games. So I'm not discrediting Denver's 9 wins, but we have to use each game as a data point for predicting future performances. And Denver was in dogfights with some pretty bad teams. I'm not going to say Denver's fraudulent, but I do have them circled as a play against team. But it always seems like when I identify a team that I want to bet against, or when I think a team is actually fraudulent or overrated, they're playing a team that's pretty much borderline impossible to bet. I'm not thrilled with backing this Washington team. There's been nothing to really like about them. And a lot of their struggles have been injury related. And although Jaden McDaniels isn't coming back, they are potentially getting some key pieces back this week. Big one would be Terry McLaurin. He's practicing at least. So is Noah Brown, who's off the injured reserve. Debo Samuel, who probably hasn't been healthy all year. He just had a week off to kind of heal up. We all know Denver's defense is elite, and I'm not going to sit here and say that this Washington offense has a lot of pathways to success, but what makes the Broncos defense so good is their speed and athleticism on the edge. They pressure QBs, and they have elite secondary pieces, so it's a perfect combo, giving opposing quarterbacks little time to throw, and when they can throw, it's into tight coverage. But like every defense that has speed and athleticism, it kind of comes with a price. Teams can find success with gap schemed run concepts, specifically power and like man duo. I've talked more in depth on this topic and what this is exactly in the Discord for any Discord members who want to check it out. The Broncos are vulnerable when facing this particular run concept. Now, the Commanders, they were more effective on the ground when Jaden Daniels is at quarterback. He's just another run threat, but they can definitely still play bully ball up front, and they like this power man duo concept. So on the other side, I'm not really as concerned. Washington's defense isn't elite by any means, but they're getting some guys back healthy. Dan Quinn took over play calling duties on defense, and I think we start to see that change become a little noticeable. And Bo Nix has some pretty bad advanced metrics. No question, he's had certain possessions late in games where he's looked like Joe Montana. This Broncos offensive system constantly schemes up open receivers, but Bo Nix just can't find them or make the necessary throws when he does find them. Asking him to cover any game by margin is tough in my opinion, so I got Washington here. I bought them up to plus 7. I only had to lay minus 120. This was earlier in the week, and that's going to be my free play in this game. I think I lean under here as well. Looks like Patrick Surtain's going to return for Denver's defense. Not really expecting Washington to like light up the scoreboard, but rather try to keep it close in like an ugly game. Now, be on the lookout for my Week 13 Monday Night Football game breakdown. That should be up by the time you're watching this video. But yeah, that's all I got for this one. Until next time, good luck with your bets.